Hello and welcome back to the TFL3. Today I'm joined by a name you might recognise if you've been following the channel for a while, Christian Derbyshire, our resident music guy.
Hello guys.
And today you join us at Hayes Station. Now, behind us, as you can see, is a southeastern train, a class 707 to be precise. But for how much longer will these be here? Because TFL have talked about taking this line over as part of the Bakerloo line. So, is this likely to happen? Is it any good of a proposal? Let's have a talk.
Let's find out.
So, there's been a fair amount of talk about extending the Bakerloo line to the southeast as of late. It seems to be the perfect fit. The Bakerloo has spare capacity and terminates at Elephant and Castle, which is still in Zone 1, while South London is notoriously absent from the tube map altogether, instead relying on national rail services which are often less frequent than most tube lines. In particular, most plans seem to suggest taking the Bakerloo line to Lewisham via Old Kent Road, then taking over the branch line to Hayes. Now, there's been plenty of talk in other videos about that first section, but the Hayes extension often seems to be almost added as an afterthought, so I thought I'd dedicate a video to that in particular. The Hayes line is somewhat unusual for London, what with it being a branch line within the boundaries of Greater London, which is not managed by TfL. It receives services from South Eastern, usually headed from London Charing Cross, via Waterloo East and London Bridge, sometimes calling at Lewisham, before serving the 9 stations on the branch. It is important to mention that these proposals are not going to be happening anytime soon, not in the next decade at least, and probably the 2040s is optimistic, because firstly they rely on another infrastructure project being completed, one that requires new track and new stations to get the Bakerloo line to Lewisham, and then it requires all sorts of stakeholders to agree to extend it to Hayes, which currently Bromley Council does not support. So, yeah, if it even happens at all is up in the air, but it's worth discussing anyway. So, yeah, whatever. So, assuming this all happens, TfL want to take this line over as part of the Bakerloo line. But, is it a good idea? Let's find out.
So we're back here at Hayes. We're going to talk about some of the benefits that the proposed Bakerloo Line extension can bring. So, Christian, you're local to the Hayes line.
Absolutely.
Want to start us off?
Yeah, so the first thing is more frequent train services on the Hayes line. Because at the moment, with the southeastern trains, there's a train every 15 minutes from Monday to Saturday, and every half an hour on Sunday, which is kind of annoying. It's not too bad, but kind of annoying.
Speaking of, there's a train arriving in now if I just hand the camera.
Another reason is better connectivity to other stations along the Bakerloo line, such as places to the West End, Baker Street, and Paddington, without having to change anywhere.
Yeah, it's good that, for example, if you want to get a GWR train at the moment from Paddington, you're here at Hayes, you've got to change it somewhere like Charing Cross. Now, with this proposal, you wouldn't have to.
Yeah. And the third point is that the Bakerloo line would make the Hayes line a more attractive option for commuters who live in this area. This means it will reduce the congestion on our roads, and it will also help to reduce emissions.
Yeah, it's always good. Another benefit that I noticed is that, at the moment, the Hayes line usually runs every 15 minutes from London Charing Cross. That means that if this becomes the Bakerloo line, then that will free up slots on the main line, kind of through Charing Cross, Waterloo East, London Bridge. That means that other southeastern services can get a better service. And another one is that the TfL stations almost always have decent amounts of staff, so there should be, and also gate lines. So that means that there's less likely to be antisocial behaviour, and also possibly better step-free access.
Always useful. I've always found it really odd how how the public transport options in the south and the southeast of London are so sparse. We've got buses, and we've got some trams as well. National Rail is pretty good here, but we haven't got any tube stations anywhere in the south. You've got West London, North, and East London are covered by the London Underground, the Overground, and here it's mostly just National Rail services. So I've always been baffled as to why that is.
Yeah, there's been a lot of talk about that. Morden Station, which is currently the further south London Underground station, is in Zone 4. here where we are in Hayes is Zone 5. So if Hayes was to be incorporated into the Bakerloo line, then I believe Eden Park, West Wickham and Hayes would be the first Zone 5 stations to become part of the London Underground, which are south of the River Thames.
Yeah.
There's a few overground stations that do go south, like the Windrush / East London line now goes to Crystal Palace and West Croydon, but obviously that's not really helpful for here.
Absolutely.
Yeah. There's been other videos talking about this, and I'll have explained a bit in the voiceover, but yeah, obviously that's the ultimate reason for why this is happening.
Overall, it's kind of inadequate because the buses, yeah, they're okay, but why would you want to get on a bus if you can get a train somewhere?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're outside Hayes Station. We've come to get a bit of sun.
Beautiful day today.
Yeah. Then we're going to go in. We're going to get a train down the line, and then we're going to talk about some of the negatives.
Oh, look, it's Daniel's favourite train.
Great.
Delightful.
Just what I needed.
We'll cut that part.
Daniel is in networker heaven.
No, I am not.
What a beautiful specimen of a train.
I just...
We're pulling into the first stop on the Hayes line, which is West Wickham.
Is there anything to say about West Wickham?
No. So we've decided to get out at Elmer's End, because we can.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Is there anything to see here?
Well, there's a big Tesco, it's like behind this train.
Bromley Challenge Part 2.
Yep. Yep. We're basically following the exact same route as the Bromley Challenge, except we're stopping
Apart
here.
from that, there's pretty much nothing here. So.
Yep. I stand corrected. There's whatever this is. So we've come to South Norwood Country Park, a little bit of a walk from Elmer's End Station. We came here because it's quiet. And we're going to talk about some of the negatives of the proposal. So far it does look good, but there are a few problems that we've got to consider.
Yeah, so the first thing is, are people going to care about this whole proposition in the whole area? I doubt it somewhat.
Yeah, a lot of people, like from our experience with Hayes Line locals, kind of just, like people outside of the know, just don't care.
Yeah.
The other thing is, like, are we actually going to see many of the benefits?
That's the thing, and also it could well take longer if we to get to London on the Bakerloo line because there'll be more stops, and the trains will likely be running at a slower speed. So
Yeah, that's true. I was like, will we see more frequent service? For example, what's happened with Harrow and Wealdstone? It's like a lot of trains terminate early at Queen's Park or Stonebridge Park.
Yeah.
So like I think Harrow and Wealdstone just does she get 15 minutes. They do also get the Watford DC / Lioness line on the overground service to supplement that. But will we actually see that benefit? And also, will we actually see a decrease in congestion on the roads? Maybe not, because it's not a new line taking new demand. It's the same line that's got a bit of an upgrade. So how many people actually get off the road?
Yeah, lots of people who drive, myself included, around Bromley, we don't drive to London. We drive around the suburbs or out of the suburbs. So it's kind of pointless, really.
Yeah, and so another massive trouble with extending the Bakerloo line is that Hayes could lose its connection to London Bridge.
Yeah, and that's a big one.
Yeah, a lot of people get out at London Bridge, as a major interchange for things such as the Thameslink Core. The Hayes line would lose its interchange with the Thameslink Core. And yeah, that could be a massive problem, especially because it's a major terminus station. And yeah, kind of a lot of things go through there as well. So, other southeastern services as well. For example, trains to Cannon Street. Another problem is the amount of disruption that this could all take.
It's going to cause absolute carnage. A lot of money.
Yep, a lot of money.
There's going to be railway replacement buses for at least a few months, and that I can't think of anything worse than that. Can you?
I can't. What's it? For example, in Sydney, the Bankstown line is going to get Sydney Metro. It's going to benefit Bankstown in the long run, but in the short term, they've had rail replacement buses for over a year, or they will do by the time that the project is finished.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be that long for the Bakerloo line because it's not quite as massive changes. For example, Sydney, they're having to install platform screen doors.
Yeah.
But still, you can see how long.
It's not going to be very amusing to people who use the Hayes line every day to commute to and from London.
Yeah, so it's going to be a lot of disruption.
Yeah.
And for a lot of things that a lot of people don't see the benefit in. Alrighty, so we are back at Elmer's End Station and we're heading back to Hayes.
We're just on the footbridge over here.
Yeah. So we're gonna go back and we are going to sort of give our concluding thoughts. We're going to share our opinion on the matter and tell you what we think, and then we're going to wrap the video up.
So we'll see you in Hayes very shortly.
Give a thumbs up. Oh my god, what is it with the car alarms? There've been like 4 car alarms today.
Honestly, as we plan to film something as well.
Yeah, every time we try and film something, a goddamn car alarm goes off. Thank you.
So we've just arrived at Hayes Common, which is just a very short walk from the station. It's just down there, and it's an absolutely beautiful afternoon.
And as Christian said, we're on Hayes Common, and we're going to give our final thoughts on the Bakerloo Line Extension to Hayes. So, Christian, what are your thoughts firstly?
Well, first of all, until recently, I wasn't even aware that the Bakerloo Line, there's plans for the Bakerloo Line to extend out to Hayes, until you told me recently. And generally, it's very expensive. It's going to be probably in the billions to complete. It will take a long time to complete, and in the process, it's going to cause absolute carnage for the people who commute to London, to and from London every day. And the current national rail service that we do have is pretty good. When it runs, it's pretty good. So I think it's kind of pointless, to be honest with you. But I can see why people might think it's a good idea.
I think that's the sentiment expressed by a lot of people along the line. My personal thoughts is I think something like Harrow and Wealdstone could work. They get 15 minutes on the Bakerloo line, but there's also the Watford DC/Lioness line that goes alongside it. So you can kind of have the Bakerloo line that gives the increased connectivity, but also keep the national rail services so we don't lose connection with London Bridge. I think that's the best compromise solution in my opinion. However, I don't think this will actually go ahead. I think there'll be a full takeover if it does happen. But it's not happening anytime in the near future, that's for certain. If you have any opinions, leave them in the comments below. And I think that's about it from us. So thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Thank you to the YouTube members and patrons, as well as check us out on Blue Sky as well. And we'll see you in the next video.
Bye-bye.
Bye.